Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry.
I've ordered one of the pieces myself. You can now see a really ugly picture of me modelling it as best I possibly can.
Yes, hello everyone, and happy birthday to Renee. Happy birthday to you. I'm not singing happy birthday though. However, I hope you've had an amazing day. Yeah, thank you so much for joining me on your birthday. Shouldn't you be like out partying or something? But happy birthday to you, one of my long-time subscribers. I hope you've had a great day, and big up to you too, Ravi. I'm just in the best of moods because Arsenal actually did it. We actually scored some goals. I feel like I'm in a dream. I can't believe it. So it's been a few hours and I keep pinching myself going, did we actually win that match? Did we actually score 5 goals? And we did, guys. Today is a good day. So yeah, Arsenal won 5-0 today. And this stream will be reviewing the game and rating the players. But I just can't say how relieved I am, first of all, that we actually got the 5 points. The meltdown that would have happened had Arsenal lost today would have been like out of this world. And luckily, we got a win, and we got a convincing win. And yeah, it's all back on track, basically. You know, the world was falling apart a week ago, and this week we're winning the title. Shameless. The club is back with the same team as last season. No, I'm joking. There were still like problems with the performance and stuff, but I'm not going to sit here and moan for an hour when we've just won 5-0. I'm so happy about it. The club really needed it. The boys needed it. The managers needed it. So yeah, I'm thrilled really, and I'm excited to do a fun little player ratings today, and also we're going to look at some stats and things. So yeah, Posh Betty is saying, I hate to pour ice cold water over the red hot optimism, but the title race will only be back on if we beat Liverpool in 2 weeks. Trust me, I know, but I'm just celebrating this one moment while I can. You guys know I've been so unhappy over the last couple of weeks about the state of the club. I've been verging on Arteta out. But today is a day for celebration. We often have days where we're moaning and we can't celebrate. And today, I would like to celebrate. 5-0. I mean, if you're not going to celebrate today, then what is the point? Renee said, it's okay if you don't sing for me. Good, because I'm not. But I hope you do have a really great birthday. What are you doing today? birthdays are the best, but like, don't stress about it. I always feel like so compelled to have the best day ever on my birthday. And then I get all stressed out because I'm like, oh, I'm a little bit bored. Just chill, do something fun. So do you know why Arsenal won? It's because it's Renee's birthday, luck. Did Leicester play today? And I hope I'm saying your name right. Let me know if I'm saying it right or not. Hugo, hello, Hugo. Big up to you too. Good win. Happy for the goal scorers. I'm so happy for the goal scorers too. And let's get into it. Fran, question, what was the shift in mentality to winning like this? I believe, honestly, like, so a week or two ago, I did a stream, like, backing up why I thought Dubai was a good idea, basically, because people were saying, like, oh, why send them on holiday or whatever. And I think, honestly, just getting away from England, away from all the noise, away from the media, well, mostly, and just relaxing a bit and actually just enjoying their football rather than overthinking every single kick of the game. I think really that was kind of the shift in mentality. And don't get me wrong, the team wasn't completely transformed. There were still issues, I thought, but it was the finishing. We could actually finish our dinner today. So yeah, it was fantastic. Hey, what's up, Tejas? New name in the chat. Welcome. Happy 5-0 party. So hi, everyone. Happy for the win today. But we need to win some trophies this season. I absolutely agree. I went from last season into this season saying we must win the league, basically, or else it'll be a step backwards. And I'm still kind of in that stance because people are saying like, oh, as long as we still come second. Some people are saying even if we come third or fourth, then it'll be okay. But no, I still think we need to win it since we spent 200 mil over the summer. The only like circumstances where it might be okay is if we're pushing them to the very last day and then Kevin De Bruyne scores a hat trick and it's like, oh, well, what could we really do about that? So we need to really push them for the final day. Ideally win. So it's winning a trophy, winning the Prem hopefully, and then getting to semis. I think the Champions League would be good. But I like your standards. You're in the right place, my friend. So big up to you guys. Right, let's get on with the stream, shall we? So today coming up, we're going to do tell me your thoughts on the starting 11, and then we'll do a little match overview, thoughts on the substitutions and things, match stats, and then player ratings, the best part, and then final thoughts. So yeah, but it wasn't like the perfect performance, but I mean, I'm not going to be a Grinch about it because it was still 5-0. So if we're going to say we played really well, but like it doesn't matter because the score was like we lost, then I'm going to turn it around and say like we didn't play perfect, but the score was 5-0, so it doesn't matter, basically. There are still things to improve, but you know, what a better way. This is just exactly what I hoped for, like a much better way to come back and start the second half of the season on a real high note. So let's hope they can just keep it up. They've got to keep it up from here. This is a good start. Don't let the standards drop. Don't get complacent. That's a really good start. So let's see what you guys are saying. AJ saying, don't want to be negative, but if we don't beat Nottingham, this means nothing. Completely agree. And Nottingham won't be easy as well. And it took quite a lot for us to get into this game because if we hadn't have got those two set pieces, then I don't know, like the chances weren't really coming from our open play. Particularly, we had a lot of possession, but not too many like final shots and things. But so it's a good starting step. I completely agree with you. We must carry on and continue to improve from this point. But it's a really good start. Hey, what's up? Jez is here saying lovely win, 5-0, 3 points. And what does it prove after an average performance? It proves that goal scoring is the main thing and the important part. And my debate has really been, do we need to bring in a goal scorer? I still think we do. Or can we somehow get these lads firing again over the Dubai break and stuff? And it looks like tentatively that might be what's happening here. But it could just be a weird week where everyone suddenly remembers how to shoot again and then we go back to how we were again before. So I'm not going to get too ahead of myself, but the signs are good. The signs are good. And we do tend to go in kind of waves of form. So we've done hopefully this is the start of a good wave of form and not just a one-off good performance. You know, I need a few more wins under the belt to really start feeling a bit more confident, but I couldn't ask for a better start back after the break. Renee says, they are playing on Monday. Ooh, okay, hopefully they get a win for you on your birthday then. Well, birthday's today, so everyone say happy birthday to Renee in the chat, one of the long-time channel supporters, and I appreciate you. Ravi saying, Fran, you're a legend. No, you're a legend, Ravi. You've been here since the beginning too, so thank you so much. Oh, I totally forgot to say, please do hit the likes. Remember, road to 1K, we'll be there so soon, and I'll do a massive giveaway. I literally can't, I can't say how much I appreciate you guys tuning in when you could be doing anything else on your Friday evenings. So, Saturday evenings. So it's good to be here. Oh my God, I'm so tired. So Fran was doing the happy dance watching this game. I was so happy. I can't even lie. I wonder sometimes whether I am that Arsenal supporter that people hate, who just after a loss, I'm like, after a win, I'm like, we're winning the league, guys. I don't actually believe that. It's kind of a tongue-in-cheek title, but my mood just is so different. You guys are probably the same after whether Arsenal win or lose. It's probably unhealthy, but I love it. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. Guna Gathering saying, hope you're all good. I've been awake since 5 a.m, ready to drop, liked and shared. Oh my gosh, that's a very long day. I hope you're okay and not too tired. Anyway, right, so let's get straight into it. Thoughts on the starting 11. So I had a nice lie-in this morning and woke up and the starting 11 was already out. My initial thoughts were, my eyes zoomed into HAVERTZ and TROSSARD, which are the ones where I wasn't. So I was expecting everything else, but then I wasn't too sure whether we'd have HAVERTZ in or Jorginho. And it was a really pleasant surprise to see TROSSARD in there. So we found out later on that Martinelli did have like a slight like niggle or injury in training, and so that was why TROSSARD started in his position. But I think it was, I'm kind of annoyed to hear that, because I would have liked to have just seen like rotation, like for the sake of it, and for all the reasons that I've been talking about in my last few streams. I want to see more rotation. So I was really happy to see TROSSARD, and you guys know I'm like a TROSSARD stan. So I've been saying that I think he's not really getting a fair run of things and needs more time to prove himself. And today he got it. So I was really happy about that. I was a little bit it was what I was expecting though, seeing HAVERTZ in there. This was exactly my predicted lineup minus TROSSARD. Because I thought that ZINCHENKO would be fit, but who cares? Like, go me, I guess. But yeah, the only one that shocked me was TROSSARD, but shocked me in a happy way. I was unhappy to see HAVERTZ starting because you guys know what I think about HAVERTZ. But I mean, it was quite expected. That is his project player. So it might be nice maybe to see more rotation. So maybe seeing an ESR start, or who else would I maybe want to see start? Maybe a Nelson or something. But I mean, seeing TROSSARD was a step in the right direction, because we never even get to see him start at the moment. So yeah, that was my thoughts. What did you guys think? Hey, what's up? So many of you tonight. You guys should be in bed. Naughty. I'm kidding. So Jez saying, Ravi, absolutely lovely. 5-0 and 3 points, but there are still problems. There certainly are, and we'll get to us through some of them in the player ratings. Big up Fran in the chat. Guys, TJ is here. The most underrated channel on Arsenal YouTube. Everyone go and subscribe to TJ if you haven't. Like, I can't believe you're not on like 10K already, TJ. He's so good at this and knows so much about football. So go over and subscribe to him if you haven't. Oh, it's okay. Renee says, bye, take care of yourself, have a good day. I'm so tired. I'm sorry I couldn't watch your stream. Bro, do not even worry. It's your birthday. Go and have a lovely nap. It's absolutely fine. I appreciate you being here all the time. So bless you. Don't worry at all. Have a great nap. Yeah. Tejas is here saying, what do you think of TROSSARD starting in front of Martinelli? Gabriel was outstanding today. We'll get on to all of like the different players and how they performed. But I was happy to see TROSSARD start. I think TROSSARD deserves way more minutes, and he's the kind of player that needs rhythm and basically to be a member of a starting squad to really get into form. So yeah. So I was happy about it, and Gabriel was outstanding. So guys, the comments are going too quick. Let me keep going and I'll get through some of them. We'll do some like comment breaks and stuff. I could just talk to you all evening, but that would be a really boring stream for you. So let's go on to the next slide. So the question is quick match overview. So I wrote a few notes, basically what went on, and cast your minds back to midday today. Quite nervous to start with. You know, the lineup wasn't as changed as I might have hoped for, but I was feeling hopeful to, like, hopefully we would see a reaction after the hot weather training and the team having a break, being fed steak, twerking on the beach, luxury shopping. I was hoping that we would actually see a positive impact from all of that tomfoolery and all of that shenanigans. You guys know I have to put this over how many people are watching, or else I get like nervous. But yeah, quick match overview. So start of the game, it didn't look too much different. First, 15-20 minutes, it was actually kind of sloppy, to be fair. I was thinking, like, this is the same team that we've seen before, like nothing's changed. Sloppy passes all over the place, not really looking too threatening. But we did have majority of possession, and so the deadlock was broken after 10 minutes, basically, by Gabriel, who does this amazing towering leap over the top of the Crystal Palace defenders. He honestly jumped about 10 feet in the air. It was fantastic, 2 foot above everyone else. And then it's 1-0, and you're still like, okay, this is a little bit like edgy. We've got to really like solidify on this lead. And Palace started growing into the game a little bit more. It was getting a bit more bitty. They were being really physical. It still felt like this could kind of go either way. Like, come on, we need to get another one, Arsenal. 36 minutes in, though, amazing Saka ball into the box. I forgot to say the corner, the first time that the corner was taken, that was from a Rice corner. And I don't know if any of you guys were watching watching Curtis's watch along, but you went, what's Rice doing taking corners? And then like the goal went in, you went, that's what Rice is doing, taking corners. Don't listen to me. So yeah, we're not used to Rice taking the corners, but he did it with pinpoint accuracy. And it was quite smart, because you guys will probably remember that the last few times Trossard has tried taking a corner, it seems like he's just completely forgotten how, and it doesn't even pass like the first man. So he keeps just smacking it into like the defender's knees and stuff. It goes nowhere near the box. So it was a clever move, and I like to see that bit of adaptation and flexibility. The key thing I need to see Arteta. So that was good. Tick in the box for me. Adapting to the situation, knowing that Trossard's not very good at taking corners right now. Putting Declan Rice on it, which who knew? I didn't. Maybe West Ham fans knew, but fantastic corner. They must have been working on it over in warm weather training. And Gabriel just towers over everyone, slots it in. And then Saka took a really good corner kick on 36 minutes. And Gabriel finishes it again. It's counted as an own goal by their keeper, Henderson, but it's a Gabriel goal. It's a Gabriel goal. So he heads it into the keeper and in, and 2-0 at half time. And then basically, I don't know whether it was us playing quite well or an absolute Palace capitulation in the second half, minus Eberici Eze, who is like such a baller and seemed to be like carrying Crystal Palace. He's so good. We must get him, by the way. Yeah, the notes I've got on here is that Graham Potter is here and he has twins. That was cool to see. As a twin, it was cool to see that Graham Potter has twin boys. But anyway, I don't really have as many notes for the second half because I was just enjoying it. And my mum called me on like the 60th minute and spoke to me for about 20 minutes. So I actually missed like the most fun part of the match. But anyway, 3 more goals scored in the second half. Trossard goal, which came from an amazing overarm throw by Raya. That was mental. It was like a javelin throw. And then that went to Jesus, who dribbled it, crosses to Trossard, and Trossard does an Henry-esque finish. Fantastic, into the far corner. Amazing goal. And then I noticed some earlier subs, which was great. ESR given more than 3 minutes to play. So that was lovely. And we actually made use of the whole squad, and Arteta used his whole 5 substitutes. Again, not with just giving them 2 minutes to play. So that was something I've really been calling for. You guys will know, like, we're needing to rest the starting 11 more and give these other players more minutes to play themselves like up to the level of everyone else. So really good to see more use of our bench, giving them more minutes. Again, another tick in the box for me. Couldn't have asked more, really. Apart from maybe not bringing on Eddie. He can prove me wrong, Eddie, but I'm not seeing it. But then a 93rd minute, and a 95th minute goal by Martinelli. Basically an identical goal, and that's why I say perhaps there was a bit of a Palace capitulation, because Martinelli basically did exactly the same thing 2 minutes apart and scored twice, but he needed it, you know, he absolutely needed it. Fantastic finishes by him, and it's a 5-0 win. Absolutely amazing. So you guys can probably tell how happy I am. Let me see what you guys thought like overall. AFC always, I will star your question there and I'll answer that at the end. Are you guys wishing Renee the happy birthday? So Fran, what does it prove then? I said that it proves that goal scoring is a really important thing, and like finishing is like really, really, really important. What do you think, Jez? What are you trying to catch me out? What does it prove? So ESR should have started, but it's Arteta. I think moving on, I'm going to be arguing for ESR to start over Havertz. I'm sorry. Arteta is so predictable when it comes to substitutions. Yeah, I think we all could have guessed what substitutions perhaps they would be. Posh Bertie said, I spoke to my mate Ryan, who supports Palace. He said we did them a favour so they can sack Hodgson. Poor Roy. I just let him retire, let him stick his feet up. Like, he'll probably be like, oh no, anyway, and then go and watch some EastEnders or something. I love Roy, but he looks so tired. It's easier to sit here. It's easy to sit here talking, but you need to answer the questions when you are asked. But which I thought I did answer the question. You asked me, what does it prove after an average performance? And I said, it proves that goal scoring and actually finishing chances is really, really important, because the performance itself was quite average. And then, I don't know though, like what do you think? What do you think the answer is? I don't know. So are you sure the last time Trossard took 2 corners, Arsenal scored? Oh, maybe I am wrong then, but I just remember quite a lot, like when he has come on, like a few of his corners, when he's had these bad performances, he hasn't been like really good at taking corners, but like I'll hold my hands up if I'm wrong there. Like, yeah. Jack saying, good win, hope we can do more like this and give the players some respect. Yes, hopefully I will be giving them adequate respect in player ratings. So yeah, maybe Trossard is better at taking corners than I thought, but just my opinion. I love Trossard, by the way. It's just I've been disappointed with a few of his kicks, but yeah, honestly, by all means, correct me. Like, I do not claim to be the fountain of football knowledge, and I actually have a really, really bad memory. So, like, please do correct me. So yeah. So yeah, this was the Gabriel header. Honestly, everyone else just looked like little tiny ant-men, and he is a human-sized man. So absolutely massive, towers over them. I thought I'd just show you guys that from Arsenal Twitter. Really fantastic photo of that goal. So the substitutions, tell me what you thought of them. Our first changes of the afternoon, Havertz and Trossard were taken off for Smith Rowe and Martinelli. And it was nice to see them come on 69th minute. Still could have been a bit earlier, I thought. But it was 3-0 at that point, and I've been used this season to just seeing the whole team basically stay on for the whole 90 minutes. So it's nice to see slightly earlier substitutions. And then the next substitution, 73rd minute, again, nice and early. Rice off for Jorginho on. Like I was saying, Jorginho, I like him when he comes on to close out a game and like control a game once we have got a lead. So I think that's a really good use for substitution. And then final change of the game, 81st minute, Kivior comes on and Nketiah comes on. Quite a late sub, but really, I was really glad to see, first of all, Kivior getting more minutes, because I feel like he's not being really given a fair chance at things when he has to come on after basically never getting rotated on and then play like full 90 minutes sometimes in a weird position. So I was really glad to see him get some more minutes. Like, it's good signs that he's used all 5 subs and stuff. Nketiah coming on for Jesus. Jesus had not really been very effective. I wasn't sure like how much Nketiah could do. Martinelli ended up scoring twice more after this, but yeah, those were the substitutions. Good evening, Tayyib. Great win, but still Arteta out. Fair enough. Yeah. Don't sway your beliefs over one good performance. I'm very sure this isn't just like suddenly our fortunes have changed and we're completely amazing again. But yeah, it's nice to just enjoy the good moments when you can. Kivior is a centre back, yeah, and he's being asked to play at left back. But it was nice to see him actually. I believe he got to actually play in centre back today if he was subbed on for Gabriel. As I said, my mum called me in the final 20 minutes of the game, so I missed all the best parts. But I tried to keep one eye on it. But I might need some help in the player ratings, considering like the second half of the game. Hey, what's up though? Nice to see you. Just smash the like button. Thank you very much. I know you must all get very annoyed of constantly being asked to smash the like button. I do as an avid YouTube watcher myself, but unfortunately the algorithm demands it. So I do really appreciate it. Mosson is here saying, hi Fran, great win. It is, yeah, it's almost weird like not having too much to moan about, but I'm enjoying it, you know. Pete, hello, a couple of new names, welcome. Saying Nelson should have been given a minute too. Good win, and hopefully this boosts, this will be a boost like this result. I completely agree. I was thinking about that, but then it's like, actually, if he'd have gone on instead of Nketiah, that would have been better, I think. Because I was thinking he did use all 5 subs, so maybe he just had to think like, oh, well, I'm not going to be able to bring someone on. Like, I guess that'll have to be you, Nelson. But it could have been Nketiah, you know. I think Nelson has earned the minutes a little bit more than Nketiah, and I need to see this kind of meritocracy-based society a little bit more. It seems very much like favoritism at points, but I was happy to see more rotation today. So he's solid as a backup for Gabriel. Yeah, I completely agree, and I think to make him more solid, he needs more minutes like this, just to get more and more used to it and more solid in the position. So yeah, really good to see it today. Hopefully this boosts the morale you meant, Pete. Oh yes, I really hope so. And how can it not really? I'm sure that they will be going over it with a fine-tooth comb and saying what could have been improved. But definitely it will. It must, just as a fan, I'm so relieved. And can you imagine for them how relieving it must be, especially a few of those guys like finishing their goal droughts, like Martinelli, Trossard, and who else scored? Gabriel. He hasn't so much had a goal drought because that's not really his job, but he really like put his stick in the North Pole today to kind of make the claim for being possibly the best centre back at this club, one of the best in the leagues. I don't know. He's giving SALIBA like a lot of competition at this point. I think they're both at a really like similarly ultra high level. He's really impressed me, and I think often goes under the radar because of how like smooth SALIBA looks. But Gabriel's a bit more like nitty gritty, gets in there a little bit rougher, not quite as smooth to watch, but he's incredible. He's gone so under the radar and he's improved so much, I think. So I'm all like out of breath. I'm still so excited about this result. It's a nice kind of it's a nice kind of double fingers up at everyone else who are really willing, like our oppositions, for Arsenal to come back and continue our losing streak and just desperately wanting us to be out of the title race entirely. And I think had we lost today, that would have been it. It would have been kind of nail in the coffin. Like, you guys really can't confidently say you're still in the title race, but that did not happen. And Arsenal did in fact win. And I imagine all the opposition fans are just sitting there kind of fuming. And it's a nice feeling. But anyway, brace yourself. Stats are coming. My favorite part. I'm kidding. I'm not a big stats merchant, but some of it can be interesting. So let me know if you see kind of any interesting things in these main match stats that I'm going to share with you. So I've compiled a few of them from the Arsenal website, and as always we had high possession in this game, so 60% compared to their 39%. And I will pause right now to say that Palace were really poor, and there's a lot going on, clearly more than I thought even at Palace. As you guys will have seen, the protests about the way that their club is being run and the banners, like the organised banners and protests, like, to be really fair enough, Crystal Palace fans, like, it's quite impressive, and really made a statement. And I just hope their club listens to them, because they do have, like it said on the signs, such wasted potential with some of these amazing players: Elise, Eze, Edouard, Ayew, really great players, but with Roy Hodgson's negative tactics and things like that, today they weren't even seemingly trying to attack really much. It was a really kind of like an uninspiring performance from them. So Bertie's saying, how much field tilt did we have? I don't know, and I don't care because I don't know what field tilt means, so don't try and catch me out like that. But yeah, the main thing is the possession stats really that I tend to look at. Passes, again, we completely dominated, so 561 to their 362. They had more long passes than us, which is what you'd expect. We had 86% passing accuracy to their 78, 79% passing accuracy. Basically, we win in all of the passing stats, as you'd kind of expect, and that kind of confirms what the eye test would tell you. So goals, 5 to their 0. That is the main stat, the one that matters. 21 shots to their 12. They had actually more shots than I thought. We had 6 shots on target. They had 5. That's quite interesting that it's just crazy. So we had 6 shots on target. I think we've had way more than that in like our last few games, if my memory serves me correctly. But it's just we actually like scored some today, which is the refreshing part. 7 block shots to their 2. We had 8 shots outside the box. They had 9. We had 13 shots inside the box. They had 3. Barely any for them really. So their shots were really kind of just like pot shots, like taken on the cuff, not really clear cut chances if you like. However, they had 41% shooting actually, and we had 28.6, which I suppose is interesting. 20 likes, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Very much appreciate that. Thank you, AJ, for keeping me like on top of that. So thank you very much. I thought it'd be quite interesting. This was also on the Arsenal website to look at touches. I thought Raya had actually 40 touches. That seems like quite a lot. That's more than Jesus had. And HAVERTZ had 2 more touches than our goalkeeper, which I don't know what that says, but does it say anything? With my anti-HAVERTZ agenda, perhaps I could say that that does say something, but I don't know. By far, though, the player with the most touches, I know some of them didn't play for the whole 90 and stuff, was ZINCHENKO, who got 104 touches of the ball compared to everyone else. Our defence, these passing numbers that Gabriel, SALIBA, White and Rice have many more touches than HAVERTZ, SAKA and Jesus, some of our attackers. So basically demonstrate the way that we like to play, which is passing out from the back and maintaining possession amongst kind of our back 5 and then getting it forward like when we can. So the defence keeps the ball for like the majority of it, and then the guys at the front get a few less touches because it's so much more congested playing against teams like Crystal Palace. And yeah, make of that what you will really, but that ZINCHENKO having over 100 touches just shows how important he is to us when we do have the ball. I don't know if there's much more really to take from that. I'm not a statistician really, and now it's my favorite part, player ratings anyway. So hey, Racco Robo, Spurs fan. We've got a few Spurs fans in the chat. Welcome. Says, I am a Spurs fan, but should have definitely beat you at the Emirates. Maybe you are jealous we have overtaken you. Overtaken us? Okay, I can see an argument for that. You might say that you've got really fancy stadium, you're making all the transfers at the moment, but I don't think you've overtaken us. Not in terms of points, at least at the moment. I think we're ahead of you now. But I like the banter, I like the fighting talk, like keep going, you know. I'll let you know when you have overtaken us, but at the moment I don't think you're there quite yet. But anyway, it's all banter. You're very welcome to the channel. I've got a few nice Spurs fans here, so welcome. Actually, I was at the game at the Emirates, and yeah, you guys did, yeah. It was a dodgy game. It was 2-2. Arsenal did not play very well at all. Maybe you should have beaten us, but you didn't. Stan the man is here. What a legend. Hey Stan, what's up? What's up? If you guys don't know Stan, absolutely one of the best. Is it the Arsenal Circle? I always get confused between the Arsenal podcast on there, but big up the podcast that you're on the most, and I'll get everyone to go over there. Spurs has overtaken us. Yes, that's a Spurs fan, definitely. Yes. Big up, Fran. Thanks for hopping on my watch long earlier. Oh, it's okay. I'm sorry I couldn't stay on longer. I can't. You guys, it's different. It's a whole thing. I'm in between like a few different. So my sister has YouTube Premium basically. So whenever I actually want to leave a comment, I have to log out of hers and log into my non-YouTube Premium account, and then I can comment as Golarzo. But it means that it's just a whole thing. But I do remember you were doing really well. So keep up your channel, and guys, do go and subscribe to Tyrell Gunner TV, smashing it. And I'll come on next time if I can, when I manage to like switch between the accounts. But yeah. Pete saying we need to have a conversation on Zinchenko in midfield. Honestly, tell me about it. I mean, us and the guys in the chat, we've been like campaigning for him to play in midfield. At the moment, though, is it maybe just a fact that Tomiyasu's injured? I might suggest that perhaps Arteta might have tried that this season, but Zinny really is the best or most experienced left back that is around to play at the moment. I mean, maybe not if we'd have kept Tierney, but in terms of the style that Arteta wants to play, like Zinny's the only one left really, because Kivior's not naturally a left back. So perhaps if Timber and Tomiyasu were fit, then we might be seeing Zinchenko in midfield, and that would just be amazing. Because yeah, he plays it for Ukraine. It seems like that would fit him so much better, but I think it might just be a case because there are so many injuries. So yeah, I don't know. But I will need your help, guys. Sorry, I've just seen Betty's comment saying you've commented as Lottie on our channel before, tricking us with twin magic. You see, I spend most of my time on YouTube on my sister's account because she's got premium, and then yeah, so that's it's a whole thing. But I will get premium soon, one day on my Golarzo account. It's so expensive though. It's like 17 quid a month. I don't know. Right, player ratings. I will need your help though, because as I said, my mum called me through the second half of the game, and I don't have as many notes as I normally have. So I will need your help. So David Raya, he had 40 touches of the ball, and personally, I was really impressed with him today. There weren't too many like clear-cut shots that he had to save. Probably the most scary shot that he had to save was caused by his own mistake, where he just kicked the ball straight to their opposition player. I can't remember which, was it Schlupp or someone like that? Someone like that. Anyway, one of the Palace players, he kicked it straight out to them, who was basically like 20 yards out, and they obviously like fired it straight back towards the goal. And David Raya had to make like quite a clutch save, to be fair. It was probably the best save I've seen him make. Yeah. But yeah, it was caused by his own like ridiculous distribution, which was, had it gone in, that would have been another like head loss moment for all Arsenal fans, and like a clear like headless chicken moment from him. But luckily he managed to save that, and the rest of the game I thought was really quite smooth from him. I was very impressed by him coming out. He does feel like a much more sturdy pair of hands when coming out to collect the ball for crosses and free kicks. I like that. You know, he is quite short, but he manages to do it quite well most of the time, and you feel quite stable about it. Otherwise, not hugely much to do. Oh, he did contribute really nicely to the Trossard goal. As I said, he does like this mad javelin overhead throw, which goes straight to Jesus, who's making a break for it on the halfway line. Jesus ran with the ball and then managed to cross it to Trossard, who finished it excellently. So I guess you could say it's a pre-assist. Rako Robo, the resident Spurs fan, saying, if you had lost to us at the Emirates, what do you think would have happened? I think there just would have been even more of a meltdown than there kind of already was. We were quite upset that we drew because, you know, like it's the North London derby and it was at the Emirates, and we really like were expecting 3 points. So it was bad enough that we drew, and I think it just would have basically like the reaction, certainly like on the online fan base, would have been much more extreme than it was. And it was already quite extreme because you know what we're like, we're a dramatic bunch. But I don't know how it would have affected like the team and stuff going forward, but it wouldn't have been good. So I'm really glad that we did manage to keep hold of the draw, but it should have been 3 points for us. You know, that's really important for us to get it in our home leg of the derby. So yeah, that really sucked. I was so disappointed. So Darren Sullivan says, not in the least bit excited, 5-0. And what do you mean? You're not in the least bit excited, or I'm not? I don't know. Can you just clarify what you meant there? But welcome. Thank you for joining again, Darren. So, AJ says, Darren, fully agree. Great 4-goal difference, but that performance cannot happen again. Liverpool in 2 games' time. Yeah, I agree. There were definitely problems with the performance. There were, like, it's still not quite clicking. It's not the free-flowing attacking play of last season. I was pleasantly surprised that we actually got a goal from open play. And I don't think that kind of performance is going to, hold it against Liverpool and teams like that. But for today, against a really weak Crystal Palace, couldn't have asked for much more. But it's a starting point to improve upon now. They cannot go backwards. They must do better than this next time. And my title, to be fair, is a bit of like a troll, tongue-in-cheek. Like, we're right back in the title race. We're not, and I don't really believe that. So it's a good start, but we've got to keep pushing on. So yeah, Raya 6 was put under pressure by a defence playing out of the back. Yeah. Racco Robo saying, very simple, I would have got toxic. Yeah, I probably would have too. AJ, I will be in attendance for the Liverpool game. Hope we lose and he gets sacked. Yeah, I understand you hoping that so that he can get sacked, but like, I would never want to hope that we lose, you know. But like, by all means, I totally get it. Like, if I was like fully on the Arteta out bandwagon, I just want the process to be like over as quickly as possible. So I do get that point of view. 7 for the save and that throw to Jesus. Yeah, that was awesome. Jordan, what's up? One of my favorite streamers out there. Do go and follow Jordan Hyman if you want to like stay up to date on your Liverpool content. Oh, so you're not feeling excited. Palace was so poor. Yeah, I think there's a real danger, probably like me the most, of getting way too overexcited about this and fully going like, us in the back. There are no issues whatsoever. And I'm not like that short-sighted to suddenly forget everything I've been saying for the last 3 weeks. Sure, like I'm bigging it up a little bit, like enjoy this like result, whatever, like party time. But all those issues are still there. This could just be like something like a bit of a post-holiday bounce and have the issues actually been solved. I mean, the only differences really that I saw today were a little bit more substitution, which is good, and then getting a bit more luck going our way on the actual final shots. Has that been a miraculous like recovery in form because of the winter break? Hopefully. But are we actually back? Are the team way better? I'm not sure they were. The performance looked pretty similar to how we looked like the last few weeks. There wasn't any drastic changes. So I do understand. Guinea Gathering saying a win is a win. Fran, if that was last season, would have been 8 or 9. So a lot to build on. Yeah, completely agree. Like, got to keep the standards high. Jordan is doing his birthday stream on Tuesday. Oh, okay. I will be there. I'll make a note. Happy birthday to you, Jordan. Everyone's birthdays are at the moment. It's crazy. Lottie's in the chat saying big win today. Well done. Steve Anderson, hello. I've got seeing a few like new people tonight. Thank you so much for joining. Spurs fans said they have a better defense than us. Completely disagree. I think our centre back pairing are probably the best in the league in terms of like a duo. Maybe that's probably going to come back and bite me. I know like Virgil van Dijk and whoever he plays with are really good too, and Man City's. But those two are really, really good. Spurs, no, you're not there yet. Romero, yes, was in like I think he was in the Argentinian World Cup winning side, but that was all Messi. That was not because Romero was in the team, okay? AJ saying 2 wins in 8, don't lie. Liverpool will answer the second half of the season. Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's 5-0 today, but you're right. Bringing me a bit back down to earth. I needed it, to be fair. It's still 2 wins in 8. But we've got to start somewhere. And I think winning 5-0, is a really good start after the horrendous few games we've had. So hopefully it's the start of a new trajectory and we don't just sink back into whatever we were doing. Hopefully this is the start of a new little chapter. That's what I hope. And so let's just hope. How are we bashing the team after a 5-0 win? I know. I started really positive and everyone in the chat is saying like, Fran, you need to calm down. It's still 2 wins in 8. I'm just really happy about it. I don't want to have to apologise for being gassed about this result. People have been having a go at me today. Damn. Right, anyway, Benjamin White. The only notes I've got for Ben. Oh, wait. So, anyway, you guys said between a 6 and a 7 for Raya. I like that we're not like hugely discussing him. It kind of shows that he's doing an okay job. You remember when he was making all those mistakes, Raya, and then it was the first thing we spoke about. So, I'm glad that he's just kind of fading into the background right now and doing an okay-ish job. So, 6.5 for me seems fair. So, what are we saying with Ben White? I personally think he looked a lot sharper than he has for the last few weeks. He also looked a lot more tanned. He's a completely different like skin color. Yeah, that Dubai trip was right up Ben's street. Hopefully he got to go and get like his eyebrows waxed and a nice like nail pedicure and stuff. That was just what he needed, I think. And Ben White, he looked sharper. He was sprinting a lot more, not just kind of jogging around as if he was in pain. So, and also I noticed he was overlapping a lot more and contributing in the attack. I didn't really notice too much else specific about him, otherwise that he looks better than he has been. What did you guys think about Benjamin White? Just be you, Fran. Well, thanks. I am a bit of a people pleaser though, so this is why I've got to watch out. Ben White 6. Yeah, that seems fair. I don't know. Yeah, just above average. I hear that. Fran, Arsenal needs to keep consistency up and win games regardless of the scoreline. Yeah, completely agree. Ben White 6, Ben Orange. That's genius. Ben Orange. I've got to write that down. Yeah, I like that play. Ben Orange gets a 6. I think that's fair to be fair. Oh my gosh, my lamp fell. So a 5 would be like just average. I think he's been performing a 5-ish, and he wasn't like out this world, but he did at least look back to full fitness. So yeah, 6 seems fair. 6.5 maybe, or a 6, just because we got to keep the standards high. Okay, so 6. Ben White gets a 6. Comment of the night, Posh. Honestly, Ben Orange. I don't know why no one's thought of that before. It's so good. AJ saying Steve, because last season that would have been 8 or 9. So ultimately the players can do better. Yeah, I hear that. Rick Grimes, hello. Coral. Ben Coral? Is that what you... Yeah, I don't... Ben Coral, Ben Orange, Ben Tan. Or if you meant something else, then let me know, Rick. But welcome. Pete saying, typical Spurs fan. Spurs scored 43 goals this season and conceded 31 and still believe their defence is better than ours. Shameful. You tell him, Pete. Like, unbelievable. AFC always saying Arteta is not the manager that will win us a league title or Champions League. And I know that you have a strong stance on this, and I love that you stick with it even after, like, because some people might change their stance after a really good result like this, but I like that you stay the course. And I don't totally agree. I think my question is, like, how long will it take to? I think he has got the potential and he's got all the makings of being a top-class manager. For me, it's just how long will it take for him to get there, and can Arsenal afford to, like, wait for him to complete his apprenticeship is kind of the question for me. So at the end of the season, I'm going to assess, like, what I really think, but he deserves till the end of the season for me. Ben White looks like a Celerio. What's a Celerio? Is it some sort of snack? Let me know, Rabbi. I don't know what that is, and I know a lot about snacks. So, Unit Gathering saying BRB. Big up, Fran. Big up, Anthony. Good win. Gabriel, man of the match for me. Completely. He was incredible today. Fran, Porro at Spurs is decent. Even you can't deny that. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Who's that other one? The attacking. Is it Udogi? They're looking better this season, way better. Yeah, they've definitely like cleaned up their act a little bit. I haven't actually watched them like too closely, so before I go into depth about Spurs' defense, let me like watch it first before I like say something that I don't know what I mean. Yeah, I don't actually know too much about the Spurs defense, but I know how much I rate our defense. So yeah, exactly. AFC always. You're saying I never wanted Arteta in the first place. I wanted Arteta out 3 years ago, and I really respect you for like sticking with it, and like good on you. So Benny Blanco, let's stick with a 6. Next up, man of the match. Anthony also agrees that Gabriel wins man of the match for me. I think it was just such an unexpected, like, cool thing that Gabriel just like really pulled it out the park today. Maybe it's kind of like saying I'm fed up of not being noticed. Like, I'm gonna like get us on the score sheet today and like actually step up for the team. It was so nice. I think he really deserved that moment after like he's kind of been overshadowed this season by everyone talking about how good Saliba is, and him with his beautiful white teeth beaming after he scored the goal. It was just it was great. It was what he needed. Oh, Solero, yes, he does look like the mango Soleros. Oh yeah, I don't know why, I must have misread it. Ivan Toney was my man of the match. I'm so upset I didn't watch that game, because basically you guys don't care about my day-to-day life, but I couldn't actually watch the Brentford game and Ivan Toney's return, but I heard he scored and got man of the match, and again, it just shows like how class he is as a player. Everyone was doubting whether Ivan Toney would be fit after 8 months out, and I was saying that I think he will be, and that guy it's just amazing. It shows how he's worked so hard to maintain his fitness, and he's proved it to everyone. I just love him, and I want to get him to Arsenal as soon as possible. Please, Arsenal, please make it happen if you can. Anyway, so we have centre-backs, but not a defence. Really good point, down. We've got 2 really good centre-backs, and Declan Rice, who's really good in front of them. Right wing, Benny Blanco, Benjamin White, now he's fully fit. Maybe he'll like kind of get back to how he was last season, but the left wing is pretty concerning defensively. You're right, especially Zinchenko defensively. And they got Jurien Timber for that, but Timber's out, so you need to now adapt, hopefully, and I don't know, we'll just have to see. So the Arteta agenda fans can sit down now. I like this, Pete. I like this. Saying we have won a game and still celebrating comeback. We won a game and still celebrating comeback when we lost again. Yeah, I feel that. Like, just like, relax a little bit, like today. But maybe like Arteta out, people would argue it's on days like today that they need to show that this result like won't actually change how I believe. Like, I'm not a flip-flop. So I get it. I do get it. But yeah, each to their own. I like it, Pete. I like. Thank you for backing the Arteta brigade today. So Sylvester Elliott, hello. So as a Chelsea fan, you think Arsenal have shown some jealousy towards Spurs because of how they are praised. They also got to a Champions League final. That is why Arsenal are jealous. I don't know. Do you think that's an interesting observation, to be fair? I'm not going to lie, I'm jealous of their really nice new stadium. I suppose it has been hard seeing them being like the media darlings this season, but I don't know, I can just speak for me personally and say like I've been more concerned with like what Arsenal are doing than I don't know, I haven't been sitting there thinking like, oh my God, it's so annoying that the Spurs are doing this, and this. Like, I'm more worried about what Arsenal are doing, really. Like, I don't know, I like, it doesn't keep me up at night, you know, but maybe some Arsenal fans are different. I'd probably be more annoyed if they were like ahead of us, then it would like annoy me a little bit. But at the moment, you know, they're just chilling like here or hereabouts. If they start winning Champions Leagues and winning the league every year, then fine. But at the moment, it's calm. It's calm. They're just down the lane doing whatever they want, you know. And they have a nice stadium, but not jealous, really. Or maybe I am a bit of the stadium, but what can you do? Fine, if Arsenal want Toney, Brentford are going to make you pay a heavy premium. My gosh. I know. They're such... just stop it. Yeah, I wish they would just, like, forget everything it takes to run a club successfully and just like decide to give him to us for 35 mil, but that would never happen. They need him so badly. As much as he wants to come here, unless we can suddenly like magic 100 million out of fair profit and sustainability. Maybe we could sell like 4 players or something and suddenly make 100 mil, but it's just not going to happen at this point in the window. And I'm getting so frustrated because I think there are players that we're not using and that we can sell to get a quick bit of cash. But they don't seem to be desperate to do that. And I'm so desperate for them to push out some of these players. If you can get 30, 40 mil for Nketiah, maybe a swap deal with Brentford, for example, for Tony, and then give, you know, I'm sure like they're working, just make it happen. I'm so fed up with this, like completely dragging our feet and not seemingly wanting to do any business in January. Like there must be a way, you know. We should not be celebrating anything. Oh, come on, Darren. Come on, 5-0 win. I'll get a cheeky cup of tea, maybe a jammy dodger. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. So, Gabriel, man of the match for me. You guys are saying 10s, 9s. Jagan saying I'll be dead before I'm jealous of Spuds. That's it. True Gooner there. True Gooner. So, 9.5. 9.5. 10. Not 10, because like he didn't score a hat trick or anything, but I'll give him a 9.5. What a goal, what a game for him, great moment for him. And he broke the deadlock, and that meant that the team started to relax a little bit and actually get their shooting boots back. So yeah, you guys are saying 9s, 10s. I love it. Gabriel 9. Gabriel 9. Fran, you got to check out Darren Farley, the Scouse comedy impressionist. He does your boy Arteta and even Big Ange. It's so funny. I love Darren Farley. And I haven't actually seen him do Big Ange yet, but he does, yeah, that's such a good shout, Ravi. I actually know him, and he does the, like, I saw handsome. And he's got, like, the eyebrows and stuff, like, how did your team do today? I don't know, I saw handsome. Yeah, so I know where you're coming from. It's funny. Right, next up, Big William Saliba. Oh, I think today, perhaps he was slightly overshadowed by Gabriel, which I loved. All I've got about Saliba is that surprisingly fast when he tries. You know, sometimes I noticed when he turns the tap on and actually thinks like, oh, I actually need to get to this ball. He's just like supersonic speed. He's just so good. Good game from him. Not like outstanding, I didn't think, but let me know what you think. Darren, you know, kills. that one is iconic. It's so good. Saliba, I might need a bit of help with this. Maybe like a 7, 8. Yeah, you're saying 7s as well. Okay, we'll give Big Saliba a 7. Not an outstanding game, but as good as he normally is. That's what I'm noticing about him, like how consistent he is. How often are we sitting here saying like Saliba had a really bad game? And I think that's such an underrated quality, you know, in a player. Like, you know that he's consistently going to be like a 7 or above, and just not ever having stinkers so much. It's so appreciated, you know. So Saliba 7, lol, the I'm so handsome quote is jokes. It's so good. It's so good. I'm going to go and check him out after this. I know that some people do like voiceovers. There's that guy on TikTok who does he does voiceovers of Arteta's press conferences, and like it matches like the lips really well, and he does the accent really well, and he just like says like the most like outrageous stuff. If you've seen him, then you'll know, but it's like really like sexual, like like insults towards the other managers, like over the press conference stuff. It's good. Arteta in or out now? Hello, Carnage AFC 84. You've come in straight with the big question. So me personally, I still am Arteta in till the end of the season. I want to see if we do actually fully like regress. I think there's still a chance basically for this to be salvaged if we either win the league or like neck and neck with City to the final day. So that's where I am. But people will know that I've been teetering these last few weeks. My patience has really been wearing thin. So, but at the moment I'm still clinging by my fingernails to like in. But yeah. So let's give the. What about you? Let me know. Let's give, what's his name? Saliba a 7. Yeah. 29 likes. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. Pete saying, with the Premier League's profitability and sustainability, there's no way we're getting Tony. I know. It's just, it's so frustrating, isn't it? I think from next year, they're doing like an overhaul of the profit and sustainability rules. Someone was doing a really in-depth financial show about it, and I don't think it's going to change too much, but there might be like a bit more leeway or something. I don't know. But either way, I think all clubs have been like royally screwed over this transfer window by realizing that the Prem are actually going to enforce their rules. And a few clubs have been caught out, obviously Everton, Forest, hopefully City and Chelsea at some point in the future, but who knows when that's going to be. Carnage AFC 84 saying Arteta out and Hansi Flick in. Interesting. Arteta out at 5 p.m. this evening. Yep. I love that you guys like stick to your guns. I love it. Like genuinely, like more people need to do that, you know, rather than flip-flopping around the place. So Carnage AFC saying fair play. Fran, thoughts on Fabio Vieira? Do you see him leaving? I personally wouldn't be too upset if he did. Again, like a lot of our players, like he's got potential, like you can see good things in it, but he's not really like the fully formed, ready to go kind of player that we need right now to go on and win the league. He's kind of with exactly the right training in a year or two, he could be really, really good, but then he still might not be. And then by that point, we've lost another season, you know? So for me, I wouldn't mind if you sold him and brought in someone who is a bit more fully fledged and ready to go, you know? But anyway, Zinchenko, Arteta was teasing us, trying to keep the other manager guessing about whether Zinchenko would be fit or not. Luckily, he was fit, or maybe not luckily to some of you guys in the chat. But what did I think about Zinny? He took a couple of like odd shots. What did you guys think? I didn't really see. To be honest, because when my mum called me the second half, I didn't actually manage to see too much of him. I think by the passing stuff, he did a lot going forward for us. There were no defensive howlers, which to me really is like a good to average game for Zinchenko. He didn't concede us any goals today. So for me, I guess a 5, 6. Yeah, Darren's saying a 6 as well. Pretty average game for Zinny. Nice to see him fit. Posh Bertie saying Zinchenko 7. He had a decent game. Play him in midfield, for God's sake. Yeah, I'd love to see it. I would love to see it. I would love to see it. Ravi saying is Elneny still at Arsenal? Oh yeah, are you a Liverpool fan, Ravi? I keep forgetting. I keep thinking you're an Arsenal fan, but I've got a feeling you might be, yeah, a red. Carnage AFC saying out. Absolutely no time for this manager anymore. Too many poor decisions, poor management, and woeful talent ID. Yeah, I really, really agree about the poor decisions and poor management and the woeful talent ID, to be fair. So sometimes I do question why I still am giving him like a bit of time. Yeah, thank you for also respecting me that I'm still like giving him till the end of the season as well. Because sometimes when I say like I don't want him out like right this moment, but I'm going to talk, then people get angry with me. But like just like technically, like you don't want to get rid of a manager when there's like only just under half a season to go, for me at least. Like let him at least finish the season, then we'll talk and give a new manager a whole pre-season to work with. If you are going to switch up a manager, that's like a big part of where I stand. But anyway, this is not an Arteta stream. Frank, can you ask Darren who does he or she have in mind that will win us a UCL or EPL right now? Good question, Pete. Darren, so obviously the big question people ask Arteta out is who would you bring in like right now that is available and would win us a Champions League or Premier League right now? A good question. I mean, interested to hear like who you would want. But yeah, Zinchenko, you're saying 5, 6, and yeah, you support Liverpool. Thank you, Jagan. So he was good today, ambitious passing, and this is always what we're saying. Like he's so good with the ball and going forward. It's just too often this season he just has these moments where he just like completely loses it defensively and someone's like clear on goal basically. And yeah, so that's why me and Bertie and you guys have been calling, just play him in midfield so he doesn't have so much defensive responsibility, for goodness sake. But yeah, apparently he did well going forward today, so let's give him a 5.5, 6. Yeah. So anyway, next player, Declan Rice. Not his sparkling best game, I didn't think. He did take a fantastic corner for the first goal, which broke the deadlock after only 10 minutes. But it felt like it was like half an hour before we scored. But it was actually only 10 minutes or so. So yeah, it was nice to see him doing that, taking the corner really well. However, he was struggling a little bit versus Eze in particular. So the threat with Eze is that he plays like centrally, doesn't he, and like tends to tear it up the centre. And then Declan's having to deal with that, and he was actually struggling a little bit today. Like not his completely best game, I thought. But not a stinker. Like again, Declan seems to be someone a bit like SALIBA, who's always going to be like at least a 7. So because he's just so good, so maybe a 7 for Declan, I'm thinking. I'm sorry I don't have the most detailed notes today. I was just kind of enjoying the game, really. And my mum called me for the whole second half. So, Mum, if you're watching, I'm kidding. Saying, hope you're well, mate. Peace saying. Zim was good today, 7. Fran, do you know of Sard, Arsenal fan from his channel, The Football Corner? You and him would be great doing a show together. Yeah, I saw him, I think, on TJ's channel, like yesterday or the day before. I really enjoyed his opinions. Yeah, I'd love to do that. When my channel grows a little bit, I'm thinking when it gets past 1K and stuff, then I can start to do a few more collabs, and it will be like worthwhile for people to come over here and stuff. So that's why I'm mainly doing solo shows at the moment, to like build up my channel. And then like it'll be collaboration station, you know? So I'd love that. Like always like recommend people who I should reach out to. Sylvester, hello, good evening, saying, did I know about the Power Rangers? I've seen a couple of bits and bobs, but I've never been like a mega fan. But yeah, they were cool. Why? Who would you like as manager when Arteta leaves? Just curious. Big question that I wouldn't want to answer without like fully looking into it, you know? I don't want to just say like a random name. I don't want to like fully research all the options first. So I hope that's not a flake out. But obviously someone who's like been there and done it, like whenever Arteta does leave, and has the know-how to win us Champions Leagues, Prems, of course. So one of the top managers. I wouldn't want another like project team manager, like one of your Graham Potters or someone like that. So yeah, that's kind of the most info I can give at the moment. Eze is decent. Yeah, he was really good, wasn't he? Deckers gets a 7. Really hope his injury isn't serious. Oh, me too. It seems like he's like made of like tough as nails. So hopefully, yeah, he's all right. And I wonder if Arteta said anything in the post-match press conference. Maybe we'll have a read of that tomorrow, okay? Darren, in answer to asking who you would like, says there are a whole host of managers that would leave their jobs to join us with all the money. I would pick a manager with European experience and Premier League experience, Jose or Antonio. Yeah, fair enough. Those are guys who've been there, done it, would get a bit of, they'd be able to handle like big players, wouldn't they? I mean, one thing about Arteta is that he doesn't tend to want to bring in like players with a larger ego, whereas those guys, like that's their bread and butter. They like to bring in like players that are ready to go at top level, like here, now, let's win it now. I get it. 7 by his standards, but propped up by the assist. Rice 6, thought he was slow today. Dubai sun affected his game. Yeah, he was playing too much golf with Rory McIlroy. Zidane for me or Ancelotti. He's out of contract in the summer. Zidane or Ancelotti? Ancelotti, I do like him. He's class. He just oozes class. You should ask Sad. He's cool. I'm sure he would come on your channel. I will at some point then. Yeah. So there are a few good managers out there at the moment, but we're getting sidetracked. I'm going to carry on player rating. So you guys reckon 6 or 7, but by all means, like keep talking. I'm not trying to tell you guys what you can talk about. 7s, 6s. Yeah, so maybe 6.5, 7 for Declan Rice. So next up we have Martin Odegaard. I don't even have any notes for him, guys. Let me ask Alex. Hold up. I'll see what he. Yeah, Alex, my boyfriend, he's fallen asleep on the sofa. And normally when I haven't seen what a player's done, I can ask him. But he's fallen asleep on the sofa, so I'm going to need your help. So Odegaard, I mean, he didn't score. I need your help here. I didn't even really see it. Did he get an assist? Let's have a look at the stats and things. Have a look. So I mainly watched most of the first half a little bit. You guys know normally I'll like rewatch a game before Arsenal stuff, but as I said, my mum called me. I wanted to get this stream out as quickly as possible. Martin Odegaard on goal.com. He's got a 7 out of 10 rating, saying led the press as always and worked hard, but he was unable to really hurt Palace from an attacking point of view. So that seems to be the general consensus. Odegaard 5, trade him for Maddison, please. That would Maddison, is he still injured? Or is he back now? But Maddison is a really good player. 6 was fairly creative, but no end product though. Okay, so maybe I've got no notes about Martin because he did just have like quite an anonymous performance. Cold weather, the sun wasn't out, Martin Odegaard, as they say. So maybe he just wasn't really doing much, and that's why I didn't really notice like whether he was good or bad. So I'm glad that I'm not just like clueless then. The ghost gets a 5. Okay, he needs to shoot faster, takes too long to set himself. Okay, maybe it was just, you know, not a sunny afternoon at the Emirates, and Odegaard seems to struggle in those sorts of games when it's a little bit more physical. I'm disappointed in a game like this that he didn't manage to hit the back of the net, you know. That would have been nice to see. Too often he does seem to kind of disappear a little bit in games. I'd have liked to see a bit more from him. So yeah, let's give him a 5.5, 6. However, the next player that we're rating, Kai Havertz, I did in fact notice really how unfortunate his game was. So my notes were that he was lackluster, had a really quiet first half, and he was in fact subbed off quite early on into the game, relatively. And it seemed like he had kind of got a little bit better before the break. And for me, this looked like the old Havertz of when we had first signed him. And he's barely doing anything really, barely getting involved. Maybe I'm too harsh, but I just really didn't see enough of him. It was, again, like the old Havertz who looked like he's only just joined the team and not that he's been here for like 6 months already, you know? So I was really disappointed not to see Kai doing a little bit more. And I think what cemented it for me was seeing ESR come in and look like 20 times brighter and more enthusiastic and wanting to get involved and quicker and sharper, you know? So I was really not impressed with Havertz's performance. Yeah, so let's see what you guys are saying. I've just seen another comment from Pete about the manager saying, forgot about Ancelotti, he's not going anywhere. He was supposed to manage Brazil national team, but he's signing a new contract with Madrid. That would have been interesting to see him manage Brazil. I mean, they really need some kind of like experienced hand at the moment. They're a bit like of a loose cannon at the moment. They a bit of a mess, really. But yeah, so forget about Ancelotti. Fair enough. Eros, you always come in at the perfect time. You came in yesterday with me talking about Hawaiian pizza. You come in today to hear me slating Havertz again, and I feel harsh because I so badly want this guy to succeed because like he's here now and he's part of the squad, and if he does well, then Arsenal does well. I just didn't see enough from him again. I know he's there and he's touching the ball, but it's like it's happening in front of my eyes, but I'm not seeing him impact the game. The first thing he does is turn around and just do a nice gentle pass to someone else. And I don't see any of that. I don't know if it's just his style, but I don't see any of that aggression. I'd love to see him like actually, like he's got a bit of fire in his belly and wants to like take the game by the scruff of the neck and shoot and score. Like there's no aggression there. I just don't know. Jason saying the race was back on for third. Who are you kidding? welcome. Clearly not an Arsenal fan. Who do you support, Jason? Palace made you look good. You was poor. It was definitely not our best game, but considering it wasn't our best game, we still managed to score 5 goals. Like it couldn't have been too bad, you know. I'm just glad we actually remembered how to score a goal for once. Like I'm not even being too critical of the team. I might rewatch it. all right, how about I'll rewatch it so I can really give a bit more detailed insight like I normally do on some of these players, right? This is a bit of a jokey, relaxed, like celebration stream. But if you guys think, and maybe I will rewatch it. We've got about, what is it, like 10 days or something till our next game. So I'm going to do a rewatch for you guys and properly be able to say a bit more about how good or bad people were. I would like that. I don't like coming on here having not rewatched it and not being able to properly like remember everything that happened, you know? So HAVERTZ minus 154. Matt Zinny, hello. I've seen a few new people. Welcome. If you like art, if you like football, if you like a bit of waffle, if you like a bit of banter, if I don't say so myself, he's definitely just left the channel now. But then welcome. Please do subscribe and let us know who you support, where you're watching from. Nice to see you. So Darren saying HAVERTZ a 4. Eros again saying came in at the perfect time. Robin Claff saying, I'm a United fan, but relax, it's just Palace, they are the worst. They are really very bad. And as I was saying, Robin, welcome to the channel, but my thumbnail and title is a bit tongue-in-cheek because I know we're not fully back. I'm not like a super deluded Arsenal fan. You know, it's great to win 5-0, but there are still a lot of problems. Our attack really isn't clicking correctly. And if you've been watching my channel, you know I'm actually on the verge of like Arteta out. The guy's always trying to push me over the cliff, but so I do have serious doubts about this manager, and by no means like, well, the title race is back on, Arsenal back. So don't make assumptions. Don't make assumptions, Robin. But welcome. HAVERTZ, Arsenal can do much better. Yeah, we sure can. Kai won for putting his shirt on the right way. Get out my club. That's a strong take there. Good player rating from AJ. Gemma, what's up? Welcome. 5-0 win. Are you happy? Also, we can see the pic behind you. What, the Arteta one? Yeah, and the ESR one. It's just one of my favourite drawings, to be honest. Like, I'm not an massive Arteta fanboy, but it's one of my best drawings. So it's up there. And I can't actually, they're like stuck. So I could rip, but I'm not that Arteta out at the moment. So don't worry. Eros, we want him to do well, just didn't see enough from him, Fran, unfortunately. Exactly. AJ saying Eze would have been a much better signing. Fran, what? This is a wild comment, Steve. I'm not going to read it out, but yes, they can. Of course they can. Goodness me. Gwemfis saying, hope you're doing well, Golatso. But let's not talk about the title, please. We are a no-pressure FC till they prove the opposite. I completely agree. It very much annoys me how we are a no-pressure FC, and to the extent where even Martinelli and Gabriel were asked in the interview afterwards, like, do you think you can go on and win the title? And they looked at each other like, oh, we're not supposed to like say that we're aiming for the title. Like that's. And the manager never says like, yeah, that's what we're aiming for. It's always like skirting around it and stuff. And what I would love is just something a bit like Mo Salah did a couple of weeks ago, where he just fully answered a question saying, yeah, we're aiming to win the title. We'd love that. And they never get that. It's always skirting around so that if we do slip up, they can't say that that was our target. You know, it's all PR. It's all skirting around actually putting a direct like quote out there that we want to win the league. It's kind of to avoid accountability if they do mess up, and it's not good enough for me. It's weak. So yeah. Pete saying, in reality, there's a very slim pool of managers out there. We're lucky to have average manager right now. If you watch the news lately, Barcelona are monitoring Arteta. Yeah, I actually think Arteta would be a really good appointment for Barcelona. Because I think what Arteta is really good at, we are yet to see whether he's really good at actually winning titles and trophies, but I think you can all agree that he is really good at rebuilding like a very fractured fan base and club that have been through a lot. So do you remember how disconnected we all were from the players and stuff? And like, no matter where you stand on Arteta now, the way he's, so this is a stressful stream, guys. I'm just trying to celebrate and everyone's saying I'm over celebrating. Damn. But yeah, you at least can say that Arteta is really good at coming into a club that has like no identity and is really all over the place. Or at least this is what he came into Arsenal, said he wanted to build, and he did build that again. And at least we're mostly all like united and stuff, you know, behind the team. And everyone's behind the team. It's just some people aren't necessarily still behind Arteta, you know, or haven't been from the start. But I think a club like Barcelona that is a little bit rudderless at the moment and a bit all over the place, if you want someone to come in and bring the fans and the players and the club all back together, he'd be a really good choice for that. But it's just whether he is good enough to do that final bit and get us over the line is what's yet to be seen, you know. 32 likes. Fran Hughes, congratulations on 769 subs. Way. Thank you so much, AJ. Thank you for keeping an eye on it. And 32 likes. Thank you, guys. Only 8 more till we're there. The target's, I know my target's 45 likes, but anyway, I'm waffling. Jason saying, I was falling asleep watching that game. Most boring 5-0 game. Yeah, actually, I was listening to Curtis's watch along. He was saying that as well. Like, how can we be winning, like, so kind of convincingly, but it's still not being like a super exciting game? And I totally get that. I mean, last season, watching Arsenal, you were on edge of your seat. You know, it was so exciting. And there was jeopardy, and it was so quick. And this season, I think it is partly because, I presume you're not an Arsenal fan, but what we've been saying and what Arteta's been saying is that he wants to control games a little bit more. And to do that, he wanted a little bit less of that kind of jeopardy and excitement and riskiness. And that does just make it a little bit more boring. But it does mean that he's got like more control, supposedly. But I don't know. I think you can't eliminate all risk from a game. So the one with all players. Oh, right. I thought you were saying like, we can see that you've got a portrait of Arteta behind you, Fran. Like, we know that you're Arteta in. No, yeah, I'll show you. So, yeah, this is one that I painted. It took me about 100 hours and over the course of about a month. And this is the original. Oh, the ring light is really ruining it. But it's all the Arsenal legends on there. I can't get a good like view of it really at the moment. But there's more of it up on my website. So yeah, I painted all of it with acrylics and coloured pencils and like did the design and stuff. So I'm really glad you like it. But unfortunately, I can't sell prints of it online because Arsenal copyright claimed it. They like said that you need to remove this from Etsy and stuff because it's a copyright violation somehow. I don't know, maybe it's because I painted the badge in there, but that's pretty disappointing because I used to sell mugs and prints of it and stuff, and now I can't. So cheers for that, Arsenal. But anyway, it annoys me a little bit when they do stuff like that because they say they're all about supporting the fans and small businesses and stuff, but like clearly like not. But yeah, Jason says the only way Arsenal win is when the opposition is poor. Yeah, there could be an argument for that, but we did beat Man City at last. So yeah, that kind of goes against that. Robin saying, of course you're jealous of Spurs. Arsenal have won nothing for 4 years and just qualified for UCL after 6 years. Spurs haven't won anything for way longer than that. How long is it now? Yeah, but we do need to win a trophy real soon. It's getting long. It's getting long. They are poor without Elise and Ayew. That Mateta is championship level. He's another Nketiah. Yeah, Mateta isn't too impressive, I don't think, but Elise and Ayew are definitely a miss. Mateta is Palace and Nketiah. That's quite like insulting to Mateta. Yes, ma'am, I do remember, says Pete Kenny. Jason says, Arteta going to Barcelona is like loving your missus being out the house. What? I don't quite get that. Rebuilding a fractured fan base? Question mark, question mark, question mark, says Darren. It's worse than ever. He has destroyed the club. Fair enough, but maybe at least definitely last year, like you can't deny how together everyone was, you know. This year it has like, yeah, I'll admit, got a bit worse again, but remember how bad it was like under Unai and stuff? Yeah. Anyway. The disrespect on Arteta is wild. He's literally a top-class manager, says Sylvester. Arsenal not finishing their dinner is not Arteta's fault. He gets things wrong, but never does tactically. He is elite. I would say sometimes tactically, like, he gets things wrong, but I'm on your side. I think he's really got the makings to be a real top-class manager. It's just, is he going to get there quick enough, like, for like a club the size of Arsenal is really the question. But yeah, I'm on your side. I'm still Arteta in, but they need to really keep up these performances, this run of result, or the fan base and the whole atmosphere around Arsenal will start to become more and more fractured, which I really don't want to happen. But anyway, let's move on to the next player. Gemma saying, I love the Timber one. Thank you, Gemma. It's nice to see you again in the chat too. Oh, thank you, Gemma. Even the Spurs v City game has an edge to it. It's weird. We win tonight, and I'm getting like more opposition fans in the chat, like trying to wind us up. It's weird. It's weird. Where were you guys? Like, you should have been here when we were losing. Why are you here when we're winning? You must be annoyed. You must be annoyed, guys. Guys. It's all his fault. He's been here 4 years, and we can't score in a brothel. Our scoring is real bad at the moment. Yeah, I hear that. I hear that, but I definitely think this season, like in answer to your comment, he's tweaked something tactically that didn't need to be tweaked, and it has really affected our attacking play. And I do agree with that. So give Arteta to Chelsea, he gets them in a title race next season. Arteta has really created a system to get 90 points. Blame Jesus and Saka for not finishing their dinner. And again, totally opposite side of the stick to Darren, and that's absolutely fine. I really respect both your opinions, and it would be really interesting to see if you drag and dropped Arteta in, say, Chelsea or a Brentford or something like that to see what he would do. Do you think if do you think he'd get them in a title race? Like, be interesting to see. Be interesting to see. And I do think he is like smart tactically. I just do question like the experience levels sometimes, you know. But yeah, I enjoy like listening to sides of people who are really Arteta out and people who are really Arteta in. I don't know how this has become an Arteta stream, honestly. And from that, like just learning as much as I can of both sides, and then trying to like think about like a clear way. And I just agree with both. Like I really am in that grey area where I really agree with this thing that Darren might say, really agree with this that Sylvester might say, and it's all confusing. Sylvester completely agrees, says Community Gathering, and that's fine, you know. I can't even go on about Arteta right now. Guys, stop. I'm so tired of this. Salvatore saying, how is he a top-class manager? He's won nothing. You guys have feelings for a coach who hasn't achieved anything. Hi, Fran. No one has feelings for him. My God. I know this is all a joke about like Arteta sexuals and stuff, but it's dumb. Like, stop it. Not true. We've won the Community Shield. Oh my God. Anyway, Bukayo Saka. I'll read some of the Arteta stuff soon. It's such an interesting debate, but I hate when people are horrible to each other about it. We're all Arsenal fans. We all want Arsenal to win. Like, don't get angry if you're Arteta in for someone else being Arteta out, and don't get angry if you're Arteta out for someone else being Arteta in. You know, like just talk about why. Like, enough of the personal attacks. That's what I really hate about the division. You know, like I can hate chicken korma. You can absolutely love chicken korma, but we should still be able to respectfully discuss. And that's what I think our chat does most of the time. Nearly all of the time. That's why I love you guys. So it's a good little community we've got here. Interesting how this channel is so filled with like really different people from either end of the spectrum, and we can somehow like peacefully coexist. So it's a pretty cool space on YouTube, I think, because most channels are either entirely Arteta out or entirely Arteta in people in the comments. And I'm quite proud of the fact that we've really got both ends of the spectrum, you know, and people sat like just in the middle. So it's pretty cool. But Saka, quite disappointing game for Saka, I thought. It would have been nice to see him get on the score sheet. However, I would say that he does at least look fully fit again. He's kind of in the same boat as Ben White for me, in that he looks fully sharp again, looks match fit, and kind of ready to go, looks a little bit more invigorated. That's kind of all I can say about Saka. But let me know what you guys thought. As an Arsenal fan, we all agree on one thing at least, says Eros, that we all want trophies. That is true. That is the one thing that we can all agree on. We want to win trophies. And the real question is whether you think it can be done with Arteta or not. And that's where there is a split at the moment, you know, two camps really. So Saka gets a 4. He must be dropped, unfortunately, says Posh Bertie. Yeah, I actually fully support that, giving Nelson a couple of games. Or at least give him a start against Nottingham Forest, perhaps, so that Saka comes back like angry for Liverpool. That'd be nice. Again, I think it's overplayed. Things like that. He's just really not been to his best self this season. I completely agree. And is it because he has no one to directly compete with him? I think so, maybe. So let's see what else. Darren reckons Saka 6. And thank you guys for still watching. I know this hasn't been the most structured of streams, but Saka 4, drop him, give him a full game off, ready for Liverpool. I agree with that. I agree with that. Give Nelson a chance at Nottingham. So beating Man City is not a flex. Brentford beat Man City. Jason, who do you support? I'm intrigued. Is it Chelsea? Maybe I reckon you might be a Chelsea fan. Yeah, I suppose like City do slip up, but for Arsenal it is like quite a big deal actually, and the way that we did it, because basically our thing with Man City is that Arteta for the last few years has just gone to him and tried to play our game whenever we've played them, and this season was the first time that he actually really switched things up and played pretty defensively actually and tried to hit them on the break. So Arteta actually did brand new tactics this year, and it showed a real like leveling up for me for Arteta, because before he'd been super arrogant and had gone to them and not switched things up at all. So yeah, it was actually quite big, like in Arsenal lore, if you will, that we did finally manage to beat Man City this season, but it has kind of gone downhill since there. What I'm saying is I can't wait to see him leave, says Jason. AJ saying Community Shield is not a trophy, it's a plate. Guys, the comments are spicy today. Damn. He's top class at throwing away cup competitions and bottling everything, says Bush Bertie. Guys, why are you all so angry today? Man. Also has the worst in-game management in the league. I would say Ten Hag's in-game management is arguably worse. But I know there are things you can improve in game management, like for sure. And the domestic cup competitions are shameful. I have no excuses there. Like, absolutely shameful. Arsenal could do better. Arteta is punching above his weight. I do actually agree with that to an extent. And I still think it's kind of crazy that he's gone from never being a manager before to Arsenal saying, like, you get the top job. I think it's a weird decision from Arsenal, but the Cronkies, in fact, have a history of doing that across their franchises. Apparently what they do, they tend to get a young, exciting coach and give them 5 years, basically, to do what they want, is what I've been told. Anyway, I might be wrong. And then from there, they kind of, but that's kind of their model. But it is a weird choice for me, and I think many of us like would not have chosen that, you know. Saka 4, drop him, give him a full game off, ready for Liverpool. I've read that one already. So give Saka a 5, maybe. He did get an assist though, says Guna Gathering. AFC always saying, Fran, Saka needs to be dropped. 8 goals in 30 Premier League games. He's been terrible, and Arteta keep on playing him. He's had, like, he's got our highest goals and assist numbers this season. I wouldn't say he's been terrible. He's not been like as good as last season for sure, but like he's still pulled out more numbers than anyone else on the team. So, but I do agree. Like, I think the main issue here is in squad building, and that he needs someone as direct competition, because if you drop Saka, there's just Reece Nelson, who hasn't been given enough minutes and is not up to the levels supposedly. But I'd be really up for rotating Saka more. I really would. So I agree with you there. Reece could have started today. He cannot be dropped. Yeah, it seems like Saka cannot be dropped. And this has been a huge like sticking point for me and lots of other fans, saying we just want to see him rested, because you're going to just tire him out. You're going to run him into the ground. And that's probably a big reason why he's not been as good this season, you know. Jason, I agree with you here, saying your best 11 isn't always the way forward. Completely agree. And I've said that when Arteta tends to get a little bit more stressed, a bit more backed into a corner, he just gets more and more rigid with like, this is the starting 11 that I must play, and just tends to like not rotate at all, which I hate. So Saka, should we give him a 5? You guys are saying between a 4 and a 5 and a 6, something like that. So Pete Kenny saying all Arteta needs to correct is to implement 2 systems of playing. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Direct and ball progression. Martinelli is a direct playing player. The ball progression system got the best of him. Saka needs to be rested. Really good comment there. Really good comment. It seems like all he tends to do is like just the ball progression thing and playing out from the back. And you're so right. He does need to be able to. I saw a little bit of that today, like in the Raya like ball to Jesus, which turned into like a really quick like counter-attacking break where TROSSARD scored. And Martinelli actually with his, they were like not quite so death by 1,000 passes goals. They're a bit more rapid today. And you're so right. We need to be able to call on that style of play more rather than always trying to do death by 1,000 passes. So I like it, Pete. You got good thinking there. You have only picked up 2 wins from the top 10 teams. Have we played all of them yet? If we have, then that's really bad. You don't have to tell me. Like, I don't know why you're trying to convince me that Arsenal haven't done very well this season, Jason. Like, I fully know. If you go back and watch all of my streams, they've mainly been me like moaning. So, yeah. I'm just happy about this result today. It doesn't mean that, like, all of my complaints this season have now suddenly been erased. Like, both things can be true. I can be mainly unhappy with this whole season and also be happy today because we got a good result. But I'm still, like, overall really unhappy with this season. But I'm happy with the result today, you know? So I'll use the restaurant analogy. Like, every time I go to McDonald's, I could be really disappointed and just tell people, like, this, like, at the moment, I just hate McDonald's. Like, my burgers have been cold. My fries have been too, like, soggy. They haven't had any hot sauce in my spicy barbecue wrap. Like, I don't even know where this is going. But okay, but today I went into McDonald's and I really enjoyed the burger and I'm pretty happy about that. But overall, this year, McDonald's has sucked. Like, that's kind of where I'm at with Arsenal. Like, this season has been really disappointing compared to where we were supposed to, like, rocket on to next season. But today I'm happy about the win. Like, that can still be, like, those two things can coexist. Because I'm happy about the win doesn't mean that none of that happened. Like, but what do you expect me to do? Go, like, our season still sucked. Yeah, we won 5-0 today, but, like, our season's going really poorly to where we were supposed to be. Nope. Today, it doesn't matter that we won 5-0. Like, it sucks. Where would the joy be in supporting your club if you can't even be happy if we win 5-0? Like, there are still so many issues that I've seen this season, but it's a good day today. It's a good day. Saka did get an assist. You're right. The system this season is to give Arsenal total control. Exactly. Pin the opposition back in the box, hence the high field tilt numbers and blunt attack. But you benefit 90 points. Are we on track to win 90 points, though? You reckon? I don't know. How many points are we on? Let's have a look at the... I totally agree with that. And that I've been saying all season, like, that is the aim. But I don't know. I think it might have backfired somewhat, as you say, in blunting the attack a little bit. And it's kind of hurt us. But hopefully we are still on track for 90 points. But I don't know. Like, I feel like we've dropped too many points already to be getting that high. But we're definitely still in the race. We're not out of it. And that is what Arsenal have tried to do. I just think it may have gone a bit too far. And we've lost, like, a little bit too much of the excitement and unpredictability and razor-sharp attacking edge, you know? Arteta will play Reece against Liverpool to prove that this is why I don't play Reece. That would be very petty of him, and I wouldn't put it beyond him. But I'd like to hope that Saka will play against Liverpool, you know. Spurs played their game against City with half a team, and Arsenal played their full first team and played defensive. Yeah. Like, I don't really care what Spurs have done. I just care about what Arsenal have done. I don't know. I don't worry too much about Spurs, you know. Spurs, like, are kind of one of City's bogey teams, but I'm just personally happy that Arsenal won. If Arsenal play like this against Spurs, you're holding 5. Our attack, like, our defense is, like, good though. Are you a Spurs fan? This would make a lot of sense, you know. Maybe you're not a Chelsea fan, you're a Spurs fan. AJ saying Fran, the only difference is they all, Dan and Josh's teams in the US, win. We don't. However, if he doesn't win next season, he is gone. Yeah, I hear that. It would be nice if they actually paid the same amount of attention to Arsenal as they do with some of their US teams, because Arsenal have everything it takes to be the biggest and the best. It just doesn't seem like someone from up above in the hierarchy really wants to do that. Like, there's not the same attention and spotlight and care and detail. It just seems like they've left Arteta to get on with it, and like, Josh, this is your little pet project, like, see what you can do. Daddy will give you a bit of money every now and then. Whereas if Stan was to actually turn his laser of focus to Arsenal, we could be really successful really quickly, and it's quite annoying that we're still like the side project, in my opinion. But so Pete saying this guy Jason is winding us all up. I see it. He's a little winder upper. So there's nothing special in beating Man City, but it helps with points accumulation. Last year, Man City swept us, and taking points away from them by beating them this season makes it very special. I agree. I think it was a really big thing that we finally managed to beat them. And I know that other teams have beaten them and stuff, but the fact is that we haven't. It's been like one of our big like barriers that we needed to overcome. We actually did it this season, so it was really good. And also Goodison Park away, that was another big one that we managed to like get over this season. So Sylvester saying, you benefit and I like this, Sylvester, like, keep fighting your corner. This chat sometimes could be very like Arteta out, and it's nice to see a few of you guys more like on like the more positive side of thinking, and that's not a crime, you know, like no side is right, no side is wrong. Let's just enjoy discussing it, you know. You benefit 90+ points because even though you aren't free flowing, the total control you exert and sustained pressure, you're always likely to get a goal by a set piece or something else. Yeah, I agree. It's just been quite unfortunate that we've had this really dominant, controlling style of play for the last like 6 weeks and just not been able to score, which is kind of like, people will then come back at your argument saying like, okay, but then if you don't like manage to finish your chances, then it all kind of means nothing in the end, you know? So yeah, I don't know. Sylvester, respectfully, our best playing was last season. 93% champions doesn't lie. Gemma said, just quickly, I just realised the picture with all the old players. Instead of putting the up-to-date badge, put the old badge. Then they can't say anything then. I don't know if it was the badge though that they had a problem with, Gemma. It didn't say. It was just like an automated like copyright thing, and I appealed it, and they just sent another automated response. But I could do that, but then I'd have to paint all over it and I might ruin it. So I don't know. But nice to see you, Gemma. You're cool. You work at West Ham, don't you? Gosh, there's so much discussion going on in the chat. Mr. Arsenal podcast, what's up? What's up? Hey Ryan. It's a mad stream today. Marco saying we aren't winning in the next 3 years. Arteta needs to leave ASAP. I think we could win something in the next 3 years. But it's definitely not a guarantee, and I wouldn't like bet I don't know, it's pretty hard. I respect your point of view though, Marco. I still think like I'm giving him to the end of the season, but if we're still stagnating by the end of the season, then respectfully, Arteta, thank you for everything you've done, but let's get someone who can actually take us over the line, you know. But at the moment, like, I'm not Arteta out or anything. Why is that a crime? I'm sorry. I'm getting too flustered today. Anyway, Arsenal were playing counter against Palace a lot of the time in this game. That's kind of though what we've been calling for though, because I've been so annoyed with this death by 1,000 passes thing and never hitting teams on like mini breaks and stuff. So it's been quite nice to see a bit of a more direct style of play, and it seemed to work today, getting 5 goals, you know. But I do agree, like we could have played better. Jason saying, you have to call them out if McDonald's give me cold chips. I like that you've carried on with my rubbish example. I go inside the bag, I feel a chip, then I tell them these chips are cold. And I have been calling it out though. That's been me like every post-match reaction saying like, this was so bad today. What are you doing, Arsenal? So, I don't know. Anyway, let's finish these player ratings. Then I'm actually really interested to read a couple more of your chats out. Jesus, I was really underwhelmed with him today. Disappointing not to see him get on the score sheet. People are saying that he's turning into Lacazette before our very eyes. And I was going on a rant yesterday about how the fact that he said that he's not, his best attribute isn't goal scoring is just such a horrible thing to hit your striker say, because that shows that that's what he believes, and that shows like that his head is not in the right place. And yeah, he never even shoots. He's playing centre mid most of the time, or left back or right back. I was really unimpressed with him today. I'll give him a 4.5, unless you think that's being unfair, guys. And I will come back to all your comments. I will come back to all your comments. I'm off to bed now. Good night. Good night, Bertie. Good night. Gemma, I want to know this too. Jason, who do you support? Tell us. But thank you for joining today. Like, any comments, whatever. Like, Uche Okoroafor. Sorry if I said your name wrong, buddy. I think the problem is HAVERTZ. He doesn't contribute. He can't pass. He just passes back immediately. Yeah, you don't have to preach to me about HAVERTZ being a real problem in this team. By no way is he contributing enough. People have been bigging him up all season, saying he's doing, he makes runs, he creates space and stuff. But to me, I just don't see it. I just don't see it. As I say, I try and watch him and try and work out what he's doing, but I just don't see it. And maybe that's because I've got low football IQ, who knows? But I don't think he's good enough at all. Yeah, and I want him to prove me wrong, but I'm still so frustrated from top to bottom with the HAVERTZ signing. Go yesterday. I watched my 20-minute rant again about the HAVERTZ signing, honestly. Yes, good night, Bertie. Thank you for watching and thank you for all your comments. So Jesus for me, he gets 5.5, and we've got one more rating in the main player ratings, which was TROSSARD, and I was so happy to see him score, guys. You know I'm a TROSSARD stan. He was coming inside a bit more. It's not his best position playing up there. I think he plays better when he's playing centrally, maybe as the starting striker. I don't know. I just don't think being on the wing is his strong point, but he did a good job today considering. He got a goal in the second half, which was amazing. He also fluffed a few chances. I was really happy to see him get a start. And I think TROSSARD is a player who thrives on rhythm and starting most weeks, or at least coming on at a similar time most weeks. I don't think he's been given enough minutes this season. I think we're not seeing a lot of his talent and skill, that we saw through bits of last season, but definitely at Brighton. Arteta hasn't really managed to get the best out of TROSSARD yet. We've only seen it in glimpses, and I think he needs more regular appearances to, show that. But having said that, he did score a fantastic goal, which was the one that came from the long overarm throw by Raya, which went to Jesus, who then dribbled it, crossed it to TROSSARD, and then it was that. Oh no, it wasn't the. Oh no, it was the Henry-esque finish was Gabriel Martinelli, but sorry, I've just remembered the TROSSARD one is the one where he did a great touch and sent their defender flying. He completely ruined that defender. And he did a great finish. That was that one. Yeah, he completely sent that defender. It was a fantastic moment, and TROSSARD deserved it so badly. So yeah, and I noticed his hair is not blonde anymore. It's back to his usual style, and he seemed to be playing a bit like himself again. So for me, he'll get a 7.5, I think. And that's the end of our main player ratings. So right, we're going to talk about the substitutions, but I want to catch up on a few of these comments because the chat has been a little bit rowdy tonight. So let's see. Jason saying, so we get 12 points out of top 10 teams. What is Jay smoking? Okay, yeah, I wasn't sure that stat was right, that we've only won twice against the top 10 teams. So I might have to stop listening to some of these supposed facts from Jason, man. Sylvester, Saka, Gabriel, Jesus, Gabriel, Martinelli, and Odegaard falling off proves it's the system, not them. Yeah, I've been kind of more inclined to agree that there's been some tactical tweaks this season that has kind of ruined the confidence or the flow of most of our attacking players, because it's a bit too coincidental for them all to fall off at the same time. But when we get beaten up in the next few weeks, let's see how many of you want to give Arteta even more time and money. Yeah, if that happens, Darren, I don't need too much of a shove to be on board with that. So you guys know I've been teetering. But yeah. Jason saying, Palace tried playing out the back with the wrong players. They should have went long and used their wide players to stretch the Arsenal back four. Yeah, the problem is they've had Elise and Ayew missing, to be fair. They haven't really had Yeah, but maybe that would have been a bit more effective. Palace were really poor today. Jesus 6, Gabriel Jesus 5. Needs to learn the offside rules, get him on the wing. Yeah, he really impresses me when he plays on the wing. It would be nice to see Jesus out wide and perhaps Trossard given a chance going as striker, or maybe Emile Smith-Rowe. I thought Emile's cameo was fantastic again today. He did more in 20 minutes than Havertz did the whole game. So for me, I think Emile deserves a start if this really is going to be like a meritocracy, if you know what I mean. F, what's up? Welcome back. Saying, regardless of Arteta, even if we haven't won a League Cup in 3 years, we're in serious trouble. All our best young players will leave, just like previous generations. By the way, I thought Jorginho was so good today. Was he? You'd have to tell me. I'm going to have to rewatch the game because it's so lame. But yeah, my mum called me for a catch up in the last 20 minutes of the match. So I missed like all of the substitutions basically. And I love my mum. And I wanted to talk to my mum. So I will rewatch the game and properly like go into how all the players were playing and the tactics and things like that. But yeah, Jorginho's been all right recently, hasn't he? Great assist for Jesus today, 6.5 out of 10. He's got to stop diving and constantly being on the floor. You're so right, Eros. Like, it's ridiculous at this point. He's really going hard on the trying to win fouls all the time. And talking of Havertz, that just reminded me of Havertz doing a massive... Do you remember when the ball came into Havertz? He was one-on-one with a defender in the box, I think. And he just, like, fell onto the ball and basically caught it like it was a rugby ball. It was a ridiculous dive and so weak. Laka won an FA Cup and scored 50 goals between him and Ober in that first season. Was it that many? If it was, then geez, yeah. And I will say that we haven't properly replaced Ober with an out-and-out goal scorer. And he's really insisting on this false nine goals by committee thing, which last season, to be fair, made Arsenal score more goals than we ever have before in a Premier League season. So I can't say that that isn't working. It's just this season they've all really dropped off. And I think that's because of some tactical tweaks. Sylvester saying, read my previous comments. Have I missed some of them? Oh, you're a Chelsea fan. Oh, right, let's see. So saying this, you do have a great project. I expect the trophies to come next season onwards. If you get Osimhen and you fix the left centre mid issue, you can get 95 to 100 points. Oh, I see where you're coming from now. You're super knowledgeable then, Sylvester. Like you know a lot about our club. Do you have a channel? You should make a channel if you don't. Like, you know a lot. So you're a Chelsea fan. It's always interesting to hear what opposition fans think of what we're doing. So it's nice to hear from your point of view then. That you think it is actually going on track and that perhaps like the Arteta out stuff might be a bit like premature or whatever, but obviously people who believe that would not argue that. So yeah, if I do agree. It is a good project and trophies would come next season onwards if we get Osimhen and fix the left centre mid issue. That's the most frustrating thing though, like this season and this dip in form from last season did not need to happen, in my point of view, Sylvester. If we'd have just got a competent left centre mid that knew how to do the job, was going to come in flying, wasn't like a broken player with no confidence that we had to build up. If we just brought in a nice box-to-box like left centre mid and brought in like another winger, then we really could have just carried on from last season, because with Declan Rice there, we would have been less open for the counter-attacks and like sloppy goals anyway. So it is, you're right, like it's just this pause in like our progression as a club just didn't need to happen, and that's why it's so frustrating. So yeah. Let's see. I'm suspecting Jay to be a Spurs fan. Yeah, I'm thinking that as well, maybe. I was thinking that as well. Emery was playing Ange Ball, but they didn't have the best centre-back. He's a Spurs fan. Trossard 7 scored a good goal, has plenty to do. A defender in front of him, finished well, was a bit off song today though, like the whole team. Yeah. He hasn't been his sparkling best, Trossard, and I personally think that's because he hasn't had a chance to regularly play. So you guys reckon 7? Eros saying Jason is a breath of fresh air. Let's see what you're saying, Jason. So Saka's hair was the reason he was playing crap. Like, oh yeah, that was so dumb. People saying like, Saka, you need to dye your hair back to black. I know it was like a joke, but I hope it was a joke because that has nothing to do with anything. Who have you beaten in the top 10 apart from Man United and City? Let's see. So this season, let me just remind ourselves of results. Because if we've only beaten those two out of the top 10, then that is kind of bad. So let's have a look. So the question from Jason, guys, is who have we beaten in the top 10 apart from Man United and City? So we beat Man United, beat City, drew with Chelsea, to be fair. Newcastle beat us. We beat Brighton, they're top 10. Yeah, to be fair, it could be looking better, but we did beat Brighton as well. So we've beaten Nottingham Forest, Crystal Palace, drew to Fulham, beat Man United, beat Everton, drew with Spurs, beat Bournemouth, beat Man City, drew with Chelsea. So we have drawn with Spurs and Chelsea. And then we beat Sheffield, lost to Newcastle, beat Burnley, beat Brentford, beat Wolves, beat Luton, lost to Villa. Yeah, you might have a point. We have not actually done great against the top 10 teams or like top 6 or so. Beat Brighton, then we drew to Liverpool. So yeah, it has been disappointing that we've drawn to Liverpool, Chelsea and Spurs, then lost to Newcastle. So I would definitely like to see us improve against like the top teams, you know. We have beaten Chelsea, Man U and Man City so far. It's not awful, but like, as I say, you don't have to persuade me that we need to have been doing better this season. Like, put Reece on loan if you ain't going to play him. What's his agent doing? Honestly, sell Reece for me. I want to see us selling players so we can actually possibly bring someone in. I enjoyed watching football under Emery. You're on loan to Spurs. You're not. Okay. Arsenal won't sign Osman. Arteta won't be able to manage him. I think Arsenal would actually sign Osman. But yeah, I think if Arsenal get a left centre mid and Victor Osimhen next summer, you will explode, hit 95 to 100 points. The control system is amazing. Just need to integrate Fabio Vieira. His final ball is so good. Yeah, I really agree with that. I really agree with that. And I want to be like, you're right. Maybe I'm getting pressured into saying like Arteta out at the end of the season because maybe next season will be the one. But I am just wary of like the next season syndrome. But if you as an opposition fan really think that that could be the case, then perhaps we need to think about it. It's just I don't trust. It's not so much. I just don't trust our transfer guys because we really don't seem to be that great at getting in the top class players, the ones that we're going for. Left centre mid and Victor Osimhen. Like, I don't trust them to go and get Victor Osimhen. I don't think Arteta would have a problem like managing Victor Osimhen. Just I don't fully trust Edu to properly go and get him. So that's more the thing. It's not just Arteta, it's the guys above him like sorting the transfers that I'm not 100% on. ESR gets an 8 rating. He was sharp in that 20 minutes. The way Arteta is playing now is what he started doing when he got the job. It's not quite the same. Like, it was very defensive when Arteta first came, and like really like, yeah, it was different. Now, yeah, now there is like more of a system, definitely. Yeah, we're way better than when he first started, but I do agree like that focus has gone back to defending a little bit more, but I don't fully blame him for that because we were leaking goals so much at the end of last season. I just think I think he overcompensated from the end of last season. Like, it really freaked him out. We heard in press conferences over the summer, like, how much it upset him, like the stupid results and goals that we were leaking. So then he's like overcompensated and gone a bit too defensively. I think he's just got to learn to release the reins a little bit and get a good balance between how it was when Arteta first came and then the really attacking style. And now he just needs to find the balance between the attack and the defense and get to a perfect middle ground. It's been a bit too defensively focused, I think. You're right. So F saying, yeah, J2O came on and was pretty much dictating the game from midfield, making progressive passes when it was on. Assisted Martinelli's second goal. He did he? Best performance in ages, probably since Villa last year. Oh, so, okay, when I rewatch it, I'll really keep an eye on him then. And I love you, Mum, but I really did miss the last 20 minutes of the game. So Sylvester, the problem with that is that 95 points isn't enough. Yeah, well, 95 points is pretty good. And even if Arteta isn't good enough to manage it, fair enough. Another good stream goalie. Thank you so much for being here the whole time, Darren. I know that you don't have totally the same views as me, but I love that you come here and like you tell me your points of view and you challenge me. And I love it how you call me goalie. I like that nickname. So thank you so much, Darren. Sleep well. I can't believe it's nearly 1, guys. Another one, Arteta out tomorrow after a Sunday roast at 5 p.m. would be nice. I'm not doing an Arteta out stream, Darren. You know that. But tomorrow evening, I will be doing another stream. Might be doing a rewatch. Might be doing a press conference reaction. And we'll probably wrap it up, okay? I'll read a few more comments and we'll have a quick look at how the substitutions did. But yeah, thank you so much, Darren. I love it. Thank you so much. I said top 10. It's only Man United, City, and Brighton. Yeah, it is. It is. So yeah, we beat 3 and draw 3, and we also lost 1 to Newcastle. But they're actually out of the top 10, aren't they? 43 likes, you guys. E-rolls, thank you. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. You haven't beat Chelsea. It was 2-2. Oh, did I say we beat them? I meant to say we drew with them. So it's because we don't score enough goals. Top teams have better defenses. Yeah, we have a really good defense, especially the centre-back pairing, and with Declan Rice now. It is that we're not quite scoring enough goals at the moment, or at least we haven't been. Today was a very good start towards going towards them. Jason, we haven't lost 6 against the top 10. We haven't. Robin Claff, you're a Spurs fan, but you'll never, and you say that Arsenal will never get 90 points because you're bottlers. And all the big clubs will be back next season. Also, Osman will come to Spurs if we bid because we are better than you. You're entitled to your wrong opinion, Robin. Fran, if Arteta doesn't win that 1 trophy from a possible 18, come on now. There will be food for thought, AJ. There will be food for thought. But you're not going to get me to say I'm Arteta out right now. Jason, lost to Villa, Fulham, Liverpool, Newcastle, West Ham. Villa, Fulham, Liverpool, Newcastle, West Ham. That's 5, not 6, but that is still really bad. Have we? Let me have a look. Villa. But then I don't know why you're trying to get me to say, like, yeah, Arsenal have not been good this season. I've been so disappointed with this season. I thought we were going to power on from last season, and it just hasn't happened. So, like, yeah, what do you want me to say? Anyway, I don't have time to, like, look at that right now. But if anyone wants to check, then I'm sure that is about right. Let's be real. Were you as an Arsenal fan scared when we got to the UCL final? Yeah, I didn't want you to win it, but, like, it wouldn't have been the end of the world. I think you Spurs fans are a little bit more obsessed with Arsenal than we are with you sometimes. Not going to lie. Pete saying, we lost through a draw 3 and 1-3. I don't know about all this mass thing. It is 1 a.m. It is 1 a.m. Jason saying, if you've only won 3 out of 10 in the top 10, you ain't getting top 4. You're playing Chelsea away, Spurs away, City away, Liverpool away. Yeah, that is a dangerous upcoming run of fixtures. And as I keep saying, the first half of this season has been super, super disappointing. I've done a big mid-season review. I did a quarter-season review. And all of them, I was saying our attack is terrible. So, yeah, my main thing has been, like, this second half of the season has to be much better. You're winding me up, Jason. Congratulations if that's your aim. Eros, Robin must be Jason's cousin. Yeah. I put it up there. What I'm saying is to compete for top 4, you need to beat the top 10 teams. we agree at last, Jason. I completely agree, and we need to be doing better. We were so good last season. We are not as good this season, and it's really winding me up. And it is 1 a.m. So before I get more wound up by these Spurs fans in the chat, I see you. See you wind me up. Fran got a heckler. It's okay. It's engagement. We'll take it. Thank you to all of you for watching, including you, Jason, and Robin. My first like little wind-ups in the chat. So the channel must be growing. I think I handled it okay. I'm only going to go and cry for like 30 minutes, so it's okay. But this has been a fun stream. I was only going to come on for about an hour, and I've been on for 2 hours now. So I'm going to go. I don't know how much this stream we ended up talking about Arteta, and I've got Arteta outers in the chat. I've got Arteta defenders. I've got people in the middle who are just trying to talk about art. I love you, Gemma. Oh God, I love YouTube sometimes, man. That was so fun. So thank you so much for watching. As I always say, sometimes my football takes aren't the best, but remember, what I really do is art. So I don't really care if I sometimes get some stuff wrong, or I don't 100% know like all of the facts when you ask them to me. I'm just a football fan, loves talking about football, know a little bit about the game, and I love talking about it. So the main thing I do is my art. Please go and check out my art at goalartso.com. Thank you for joining me tonight. I've really enjoyed it. It's super late, Saturday night. Should be out clubbing, but I'm here talking about Arsenal with you guys. Now, I wouldn't have it any other way. So good night to you all, Spurs fans as well. I do hope that you sleep well with yourselves somehow. I'm kidding. So I'll see you guys next time. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm saying you're beating teams you should be beating and saying it is a good performance. We are beating the teams we should be beating. Yeah, but we need to be beating the better teams too. 95 points with Fabio Vieira. Sylvester has more faith than me, lol. Yeah, so Sylvester's a Chelsea fan as well. I like him. I need to see you more in stream, Sylvester. Shabazz, what's up? Saying we've only won that many against the top 10, yet we're still in the top 4. Your logic is bad and you should feel bad. I want that on a t-shirt. Your logic is bad and you should feel bad. I love that comment. Thank you, Shabazz. Take care, you guys. So I will see you guys. You're my second best female football creator. Who's your favorite one? I'm interested. I'm a real fan of Jess from She Knows Arsenal. Like, she knows Arsenal. To have a name like that, you have to know Arsenal, and she knows her football. Connor, what's up? You missed the lively one. I like your new logo. Yeah, so I'll see you guys. Thank you so much. I actually love debating with you, Jason. Like, hopefully I'll see you soon. I loved it. You made some really good points. So take care, you guys. Yeah, big up, Ramen. Thank you so much. Is that a City fan we see in the chat? Ooh, interesting. It's nice to see a few more opposition fans come in. Welcome. As I said, I love debating, love talking with all of you. So thank you so much. That was a really fun stream. All opinions welcome here. I love you all. Big up the beautiful game and everyone we meet through it. Have a great evening, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye. Well, I'll see you tomorrow. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.